Hi Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope for January 2024. Thanks for joining me. Please watch these horoscopes in this order: sun sign first, then rising sign, then moon sign. I'm going to look at what the planets are doing and how they fall in your houses for you guys Taurus, and what areas they support you in and what areas you're not so supported in here in January. So looking at this, on the 1st of January, we have Mercury, the communication planet, going direct. So if you've had problems with communication or transportation in the last few weeks, those really start to ease off. And particularly as it relates to your relationship with groups of people or institutions. The area where you're really supported is that connection to bodies that exist outside of yourself, groups of people. So that's corporations, companies, religious institutions, educational institutions. If you're trying to create a link or a connection with any of those, that is something that's going to be a lot easier. So if you're interviewing for jobs or if you're trying to get your product into a store, really write those letters and present yourself. You'll find that doors open more easily. And then your ninth house is also really supported. Mars moves into Capricorn on the 5th of January and it joins the other energy in your ninth house. So you're able to work in a concrete way on how do I want to grow in future? How do I want to educate myself intellectually? How do I want to see new things and experience new things in a practical way? So plans for travel and moving, those are all massively supported. And what's also interesting is that you have a lot of energy in your first house of self. You have Jupiter, the lucky planet, and Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and unexpected, in your first. So these are really the highlights. If you work as yourself, if you're authentic about your true nature, your ability to take charge of practical circumstances, and you apply that to the future, how you can grow, particularly in those areas of travel and education. But ultimately, it's this sense of course I can grow, of course I can adapt new things and integrate them into myself to make life feel more rewarding and to give me this sense that all of my hard work is paying off. And then specifically, if I take this and I apply it to companies and corporations out there that I want to be a part of, really think along those terms, and you'll find that you have far more opportunities here in January than you did in the past. On the 11th of January, we have a new moon in Capricorn happening also in your ninth. So this is really the peak of this sense of course, I can work towards something that's going to make my life bigger in future. So you're kind of playing the long game here, and you're asking yourself, how can I be wise? How can I use all of this motivation I've got to start to create structures which are going to serve me in future, particularly as it relates to kind of big business? And even, I would say, how can I position myself to be more structured in my working life so that I don't constantly have to respond to the whims and desires of other people? On the 21st, we've got something really significant happening, but let me go back to the 14th before that. The 14th sees Mercury, the communication planet, now also hopping over the houses from the 8th into the 9th. So it's not just the 11th with the new moon where you feel massively honed in on those details and what can come next. Mercury now ensures that you don't miss any opportunities and that you're able to look at alternative ways forward. Pluto does shift on the 21st, and this is really significant. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, and it now goes into Aquarius until pretty much 2044, so the next 21 years. I go into a lot of detail on this topic in the horoscope that I did for you guys Taurus for the entire year. So if you type in Taurus 2024, check that out, because it really is the beginning of a whole new era. And for you Taurus, it's so good because Pluto goes into Aquarius and it moves into your 10th house of career and work. So the first 3 weeks of the month, you've really kind of been supported in how do I get myself into this group and how do I plan ahead. And now you will start to get amazing new ideas as it relates to your career, and you can tie all of this up with work that involves other businesses. So if you have wanted to kind of get your product in a store, great. Look at that in the first 3 weeks. But now with Pluto shifting into the 10th, you'll be willing to operate business-wise, career-wise, job-wise, in a way that is very unfamiliar to you, that you haven't got much experience in. And you can tie that up with your connection to already established companies that you've made earlier on in January. And for the Tauruses who really want to do great things in work and to establish themselves, this is really the month to do it. And the other thing about this being an Aquarius is it's very likely that these new business ideas have something positive as an inherent part of the business plan or structure. So for instance, the one that always comes to mind is Tom's, that shoe company. If you bought a pair of shoes, they would give a pair of shoes to someone in a situation where they couldn't afford their own. And that business model made those shoes very, very successful. If you think along those lines, as in how can this idea genuinely benefit other people in the public out there through this business approach, that's going to work. But also if it's how can I be charitable and be of service to other people in a professional way, that is also massively supported. So I expect to see a lot of really positive things coming from Tauruses over the next few weeks and even months and years, with Pluto being in Aquarius, because you're going to have this ongoing focus that I want my work to matter and count and influence others positively. On the 23rd, we have Venus going into Capricorn. That's in your 9th, so plans for the future, and really the whole month you've got your feet firmly planted on the ground. So any ideas that occur to you, you'll immediately be able to translate that into practical action. The Sun goes into Aquarius earlier in the month on the 21st, and it joins Pluto in your 10th house of career. So it's really my identity as it relates to business. The full moon in Leo on the 25th of January, that happens in your, let's see, where does it happen? In your 4th house of your roots and what makes you feel supported. So it's very likely that other people have a positive influence on you and support you. Look at who doesn't. If during this time someone really kind of puts obstacles in your path, then really question that relationship and whether it's beneficial to you to spend this much time giving your energy to that person. Because this month is all about how can Taurus rise to the occasion and how can you implement your wonderful ideas and formalize them. Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and unexpected, that goes direct on the 27th in your 1st house where it sits with Jupiter. So the key thing to remember is it's your ideas that are going to pay off. It's your plans for the future that are really going to open a new path. Be very reluctant to give all your energy away to another institution or to another person and to spend your time kind of making things okay for them. This is about focusing on what you've got and giving that a lot of value and attention and building something solid in your future. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. And to draw up your chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me, please, on the website as well. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. And then I can analyze your chart the way I did the chart here for you guys, Taurus. Check out some of my other videos, especially the one for the year ahead. That goes into a lot of detail around you and how you will be able to access all of these wonderful new ideas. And check out some of the other videos I do on the channel as well. If you want more information, weekly horoscopes, the daily tarot reading, consider becoming a member of my channel. Have a great month here in January, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.